Recorded Books Inspirational presents an unabridged recording of Love's First Bloom by Delia Parr, narrated by Alyssa, Bresnahan. This book is copyrighted 2010 by Mary Lickleidner. This recording is copyrighted 2010 by Recorded Books, producer and publisher of Recorded Books Inspirational, an imprint dedicated to stories of faith and the human spirit. And now, Love's First Bloom.
Chapter 1. March, 1838, New York City. Ruth Livingston had very little time left to change her father's mind. After a hasty ride through dark, deserted streets, she parted the curtains on the coach window while waiting for Captain Grant to arrive. Moonlight rested on the Scheller, a packet ship that was lying at anchor in the harbor. She blinked back tears. Unless Ruth could sway her father's decision, the morning tide would carry her far from home, along with Lily, the sleeping toddler now nestled against her father's chest. She dropped the curtain and swiped at her tears. Even though he had rejected every one of her arguments since rousing her from bed 2 hours ago and telling her she had to leave, she prayed she still might get him to agree to let her stay home with him. "Please, Father," she whispered, "when Captain Grant gets here, tell him your plans have changed, so you can take another day or two to find someone else." Seated directly across from her, Reverend Gershom Livingston cradled the sleeping child and shook his head. "I don't have another day or two, Ruth." "But I don't understand why I must go, when you have so many supporters who would be better suited." "You're the only one I can trust to take Lily away and keep her safe," he insisted, keeping his voice low. "But what if Captain Grant questions me? What am I supposed to say if he sees that I'm not this Widow Ruth Malloy that he expects?" "I told you. Captain Grant never meets any of the women he helps me to relocate before sailing. At least you get to keep your given name," he added. Frustrated, Ruth found it hard to be grateful for keeping her first name when she was giving up so much else. "What about the Garners? Surely they'll suspect that I'm not—" "Elias and Fanamy Garner will accept you without question when you arrive. In turn, they'll introduce you to the community as a distant relative whose period of mourning is over and is in need of a home. I explained all this to you on the way here," he gently chided. Dropping her gaze, she swallowed hard. According to her father, the Garners didn't know that the real name of the woman they were expecting had been Rosalie Peale, the well-known prostitute found murdered some days ago, or that the child in the Reverend's arms was in fact Rosalie Peale's secret daughter. The very idea they would think Ruth was a former prostitute. Oh, it both shamed and humiliated her as a woman of faith. Being the daughter of a controversial minister who devoted his life to the fallen angels of the city had never been easy, but Ruth found it terribly ironic that the only way she could support him now was to become one of his reclaimed fallen angels herself. Desperate to change his mind, Ruth tried another tack, keeping her voice to a whisper to keep from waking the little girl. "The constable can't seriously think you could have killed Rosalie Peale," she argued, unable to fathom that anyone would consider him capable of murder. "Indeed he shouldn't. But the press has fueled public clamor for an arrest that should have been made days ago." She snorted. "The reporters who've surrounded our house from dawn to dusk for the past 2 days are even worse than the scoundrels you allowed inside to interview you. Have they no sense of decency?" "Decency doesn't sell newspapers," he replied. Her father placed a hand on her shoulder. "Instead of being angry about a situation we can't control, We should be grateful that my lawyer was able to persuade the constable to give me time to put my affairs in.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?